Alright, here's a few shots of the lathe. I kind of restored a lot of this, but not everything, so it's turned out pretty good. I want to show you one modification I made here. Get this camera to hold still. This right here is the carriage lock down here that I made. But it works like this. This piece was a test piece. This is a piece, I think it was 1 1/4 inch, and I segmented that with a 3mm end mill, made a top piece and a bottom piece, and they're about 15 degrees between segments, so when the thread gets a little sloppy or something, you can bring the handle back 15 degrees and you'll have a little more pressure that you can put on the carriage stop. That turned out really nice, worked perfect, I use it all the time. And then I'll get around back and show you this other stuff. But this lathe, I've got the 6-jaw. This was a Char's 10-inch chuck here. It's okay, not my favorite. Whoop. Not used to this camera on a gimbal. There we go. This is the 6-jaw Char's here that I put on there. It's pretty good. It runs pretty good, you know, as far as true setting it and everything. That's pretty good. And then a DRO from DRO Pros. That works pretty good. I had another one on there, but I put this one on. It's pretty darn accurate once you get it dialed in real good. And my chuck wrench holder here. Then on the back, I made a spider for this one. It allows just a little more than 1.5 inches. That's what the ID hole is in the spindle on this Monarch lathe here. Get this adjustments right. And anyway, I've took the back plate off here and bored this piece and locked it fast with some set screws to the main spindle. And then this is a little bit bigger ID here. And anyway, let me show you this. I put 4 adjustments in it. These are just socket head, small 3/8 bolts. Anyway, what I did is I put a recess in the end and put a ball bearing in there, and it works really good. So when you tighten up against your stock, you don't put any Mars in it. I have 4 of those that go in here, and when you get stuff lined up better. So don't, if it's a long piece now, and you don't want to cut it off till you're done, you can keep it from flopping all over the place when it sticks back out through here. Now, this was one I really liked. Took me a while to get this figured out. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go, right here. Okay, this is my fine adjustment on the taper attachment that I put on here. This works nice because without that, you got to take a little maul or something like that, loosen your taper attachment lock bolts up, and tap it one way or another to get your taper set just right. What I did here was put, let's see, on the end here is radius on there, so let me get a better view here if I can. On the end there's a radius on this, and I put a couple of 1/2 by 1 blocks on there, and then I drilled and tapped those blocks on top after they were bolted fast, and lined it up with these 2 cap head screws here, bolted that on, and then made a block underneath here to get it the right height. And I wanted to do something with this 5/16 instead of having to have it come in and out of here, but I didn't have enough meat here to put a bigger device on here that could swivel. So I just got this ball end here that swivels fine. So, and then this end swivels too. This piece will swivel, both of them swivel when you're adjusting. But this works nice for your fine adjustments. I really enjoyed it. I've done some MT3s, R8s, and a couple other tapers on here using that. It works nice because you get real accurate taper. You don't have to sit there and crank the compound back and forth all the time. And then of course my connections here I've got for the DRO and my one other light. Yeah, I had the let's see here. I'm not used to this gimbal. I'm trying to keep it straight and get so. Okay, I had this quick change box all off here, tore it all down, went through it. Everything seemed to be pretty good shape. Cleaned it all up and changed the oil and everything in, and changed the oil in the headstock. The only thing I messed up when I changed the oil in the headstock, I didn't put another window in here for the oil level. I put one in the quick change box and one in the carriage. But you know, I had some other tags made here. This one here is not the original. I had a guy that makes just trophy work, and he could laser that stuff out. That was a piece of brass. And then down below here, let's see, I had a piece of stainless right there put on that with all the settings. And I put a new, which is ridiculous price. My other spindle for the tailstock was a little bit chewed up on the MT3 side. I tried reaming it out a little bit, but it wasn't very good. So I just did buy a brand new spindle from Blond, which you can get, but it was like $1,100, which is kind of a ridiculous price. Did a little flipperoo here. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some editing on this thing. This gimbal is so touchy, keep it straight. Anyway, that's a pretty good idea. Then I've got my forge jaw here that came with the lathe. And this was almost like new, because nobody hardly ever used forge jaws when they had this lathe. I think they were too lazy to try to dial stuff in. Anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to show you this. I'll put it on the Blond, let's see what the Blond section there on Facebook.